A strong wind had been blowing all day on the island of Sildor, and at night it grew worse still. The next morning, Sir Topham Hatt was eating toast and marmalade for breakfast when his wife came in. "Oh, Topham, my dear," she sighed. "There's been slate blown off the roof of the house in the night."
"I'll get someone to replace him, my dear,"
he promised.
"No use until the scale is jarred down, for they'll blow off as fast as they're put on."
At the sheds, the engines had been teasing James. They were remembering the time he had been spun around and around on the turntable, and he had to wait for the wind to drop before he could be rescued. "Be careful, James," chuckled Henry. "Mind you don't go on any turntables today." James was indignant.
Care for yourself, Henry. Make sure you don't need to stick in tunnels when you need to take shelter.
Henry didn't care a bit, and the other engines laughed as they went to collect their trains at the station. Henry's first stop was at the station before the viaduct. "Be careful, Henry," the station master warned him. "The wind on the viaduct is very fierce today." But Henry was lucky. The wind dropped for just a few moments at just the right time, and he brought his train safely over. The station beyond was an exposed place too. Henry knew this, but was so pleased that he crossed the viaduct that he forgot. "Fancy worrying about a bit of wind," he said to himself. "Now I got no more stops into the workstation. That's one in the buffers for silly little James." As he rattled through the station, he saw something that made him whistle shrilly in horror. A few hundred yards in front, a tree was suddenly uprooted by the gale and crashed across the line. "Ah!" groaned Henry, and his driver slammed the brakes on hard. Henry skidded along the rails, coming closer and closer to the tree. He shut his eyes and waited for the impact. Nothing happened. Henry slowly opened his eyes and looked again, to find that he had stopped inches away from the tree. "Phew," he thought to himself, and let off steam with relief as the guard came running to see what was the matter. Henry pushed the coaches back to the station, and when the passengers found out what had happened, they came to thank Henry for preventing a nasty accident.
Well done, Henry.
Said James when he found out.
Perhaps it's useful to be able to stick when you need it after all.
Near to where the line from the sheds joins the main line, there are some special points. These are called trap points, and the rails don't go anywhere, but are just long enough to derail anything running away and prevent it from colliding with another engine on the main line. They are worked by a very powerful spring that can be controlled from the signal box when the engines need to get on the main line on purpose. Henry could never get the idea of the points or why they were there. "Running away? Why would any one of us want to run away from a nice, dry, warm shed?" he grumbled. "You tell me that." Neither Gordon or James could, so they didn't even try. One night, Henry was alone in the sheds. This was unusual, but Gordon was at the railway and would not be due until morning, and James was at the docks with Edward, so it was just Henry that was there. It was cold that night, and Henry was very lonely. He was glad when the firelighter came earlier than usual. Gratefully, Henry felt the warmth spread through his boiler. He was drowsy and uncomfortable. 15 minutes, driver, please," he thought to himself. Suddenly, he felt someone climbing in his cab. It was the firelighter, who thought it would be funny to try and drive Henry. He soon found the brake and unwound it. Then he found the regulator, but nothing happened. Disappointed, he got out of Henry, but he forgot about the regulator. When everything was done, the firelighter left the sheds. It was minutes before Henry woke up. Henry could see that it was getting light outside. Then he realized what had woken him.
Hang on.
He groaned. Then Henry felt himself moving. He tried to stop, but he couldn't.
Hold up.
He was getting closer and closer to the shed doors. Henry hoped they could stop engines, but they couldn't.
Oh.
He yelled as he demolished the shed doors. Then he soon heard a whistle.
Gordon, look out, it's me, you blue sausage. Horrors! Stop, Wheels, stop! I command you to stop, Wheels!
Oh, Henry! Get out of my way! Henry, move!
Soon Henry felt his front bogies leave the rails, and just in time as Gordon came thundering past. Man came panicking and shouting, but Henry didn't care.
Oh, thank you, track points. You could stay for however long you wanna, and I'm okay with that.